All right, Coach, thank you. EA Sports coverage of the National Football League brings us to Gillette Stadium in Foxborough, Mass. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Atlanta Falcons and the New England Patriots. Sony Michel, his first carry. And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line. That one good for 10 yards. And that'll bring up a second and just about a few inches here.
Flex round! Flex round! Flex round! Flex round! Flex round! Flex!
Looking to throw. Jenkins. He's just going to dump this one off to his fullback out of the backfield. And he'll get up to the 43-yard line. 8 yards on the pickup there, and it moves the sticks. Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on first down.
Come on, let's go!
On first down, Jenkins. And this is incomplete. Emmanuel Sanders, the intended receiver. And that'll bring up second down.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that first down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
So second down, still 10 yards to go. Ball on the 43.
Check it, Humphrey!
On second down, Michel. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. He lost 2 there, and it's third down.
Nice play right there to stop him behind the line, but I want to see how this defense continues to play him here in the first half.
Yeah, we know, you know better than I, he has the ability to take over a game. So what do you do?
Yeah, I think you have to make sure that you bottle him in at varying levels, because if you crowd everyone to the line of scrimmage, if he breaks through, it's nothing but room to run.
Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete. So on fourth down, here's Sam Cook to punt it away. And just a single punt for him in the loss last week as he sends this one away. So not only did they get the fumble recovery on the punt, but now look at this field position. He almost took it the distance.
And the ability to not just make the play, but turn it into something big, that's what coaches harp on all the time. How do we create big plays that'll change the game? And that may have been one that just did.
Diving for the end zone, and the ball's knocked out. And this is going to get out of bounds through the end zone, and that will go as a turnover as the defense will get it at the 20-yard line. They go play action here on first down. He's going to fire this thing deep. Oh, this is taken in. It's complete. That goes for a gain of 31.
Now, that play will end up on the highlights, and you'll see it all over the place. But what you won't see, the offensive line that bought the extra time, that allowed for the big completion downfield, those guys made that play possible.
And he'll lose yardage here, back at the 47. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's second down.
It's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stuff that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that. Got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
Now they'll throw here out of the gun. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And he'll be brought down, it looks like right at the 40. A good pickup there, 13 yards as they get closer for third down.
As long as you go through your proper reads and progressions, the drag route can be one of those old reliable plays because usually it's good for a good chunk of yardage as we just saw there.
And those guys like it, right? They can get the ball with a full head of steam.
Especially against man coverage. Because man coverage, you're typically running away from someone and not worried about traffic coming out on the other end.
Now throwing on third down there, but he cannot connect. So coming on now is the field goal unit. They're going to try for 3, and he'll need all the leg he's got here. They'll spot it at the 47, so call it a 57-yard attempt. And this is good from 57 yards out. That was bombs away right there. These kickers now, it used to be that a 50-plus yarder was cause for celebration. Now seemingly automatic.
Yeah, isn't it funny when we prepare for a game, when you look at the backgrounds of these kickers, it's interesting, isn't it, to find out they were all-state quarterbacks, receivers, defensive backs, all-state wrestlers, right? Baseball players. We're finding athletes all along, and now they're just specialists putting it through the posts.
Throwing on first down. Jenkins. Smith catches left side. And they're able to get this one across the 35. Nice way to start the drive. A gain of 12 and a first down.
I got a kick out of that one, partner. You and I talk often about trying to hide receivers in certain situations. But a guy of his size, can't really hide him. But the tight end drag route, definitely an effective way to sneak him across the formation for easy completion and a first down.
And he's across the 40, 3 extra yards to the 43. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4. To throw on 2nd down, Jenkins. And this is caught. I think he got that with one hand. And he'll be brought down just shy of midfield at the 49-yard line. First catch for him on the afternoon, and it results in a first down. On 1st and 10, Jenkins looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Smith. And he'll be brought down at the 45-yard line. A gain of 6 there on first. We've seen quite a bit of the short passing game here early on first quarter, haven't we?
We have, and I think it works a couple of ways for this team because, number one, you throw the short game until they stop it. And if they're not going to stop it, you keep throwing it, and occasionally you'll break a tackle and turn into a bigger gain. Also, if they start to creep up, start to pressure receivers, now you go over the top, take it deep, and now you get some of those big shots downfield.
Shaq Thompson on the tackle that time.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
They'll look to throw for it on 3rd and 1. And he's got Will Tye complete. And he gets it to the 34. Good enough for the first. And they just keep marching right along. First down on a pickup of 8 there. From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. On first down, Jenkins. They'll check this one down to Michelle. The Patriot passing game is rolling. They've got another first down.
Nice little nifty play for him there. That's the ability to read a defense and utilize players that don't often get picked up in coverage easily. And I'm talking about being able to use the backs out of the backfield. Because I know that when I used to cover, hey, we got everybody oh, he just snuck out there, and they just got a nice first down there.
What do we love to say? Get those backs into space, right? And they were able to do that there. Nice pickup on first down. And that That's off the mark, incomplete. Cooper Kupp was his intended target. That'll bring up second down. Before the game, they were running the route tree about as efficiently and effectively as we could have possibly imagined, but sometimes the passes just go awry.
Yeah, let's face it, when you're running the route tree in pregame, you don't have defenders breathing down your neck. You don't have defensive backs making plays on the football. Hard to replicate the intensity of the game in pregame.
It'll be a loss of a full 3 yards there, and it also brings up third down. So negative yardage, a loss of 3 on second down, and that leads to a tough third down call. From the gun, Jenkins. Throw left side complete. It's Smith. And he'll get it down this time to the 17.
One of the advantages of zone defense, as I remember it, is being able to see the play develop in front of you. One of the disadvantages, when they find those levels where they can hit you with it. Sometimes behind the corner and in front of the safety, it makes it tough to defend.
So he had a chance to get him on the board there, but unfortunately that big yellow metallic structure in the back of the end zone, it had other plans.
And that's one where kicker's watching it the whole way saying, oh no, don't hit it. Rats.
And on the ground they go with the running back. And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield.
A quick observation, Brandon, because early on in this game, I'm seeing linebackers playing with their noses close to the line of scrimmage.
And my guess is the wheels are turning on that other sideline. As a play caller, you're filing that away right now, aren't you?
Yeah, you're trying to find that opportunity later on when you can play action them or stick something to them between the second and the third level.
Oh, nearly picked. And maybe lucky there. This guy doesn't drop many defensively. Third down. A second down pass play there, but it's incomplete. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down.
Detroit! Detroit!
Back to throw here. It's caught. Jones. And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down. First catch so far for Julio. He's got a first down.
Nice catch right there. Brings to mind the sentence. When in doubt, find your veterans.
We used to laugh back in the day when they would call guys like him crafty veterans. You get up in your 30s, you're still playing receiver, but you're around that long. Julio Jones all alone. Touchdown, Falcons. Julio Jones, his second touchdown on the season. And the Falcons will add on to their lead. A good hold in these wet conditions. The point after's up and good, and the lead grows to 10-0. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. And now out come the Patriots. And they had compiled a pretty long drive last time. Unfortunately, though, it ended with no points after the missed field goal.
And that can hurt the psyche of a team because as they drove downfield, you know you're never supposed to count points in your mind until they go up on the board. But let's face it, we've been there. We've seen teams before. They were counting on those points. They didn't get them. Can they come back now, start over again, and grind it out? So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you just swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
And his throw's going to be incomplete. The intended receiver there was Jonnu Smith, and it's third down.
Let's face it, you can run the route tree as many times as you want, get in sync, practice it, do all those things. But once you get to game speed, it doesn't always time up quite that well. That one goes incomplete.
From the gun on third down, Jenkins. And with a flag down, he goes down. So they're able to sack him. Now the penalty looks like it could be holding. Let's find out. So instead of giving them another third down, they'll decline it, brings up 4.
Now that's smart football right there. You don't even have to really spend a lot of time considering it. Just know that you're probably going to get the ball back. Good job declining that penalty.
Here's Sam Cook now, as he'll punt it away for the second time. And he gets this away, and look at this. This is a good one. Atlanta now coming out on the field. They're starting to pull away with this one. Early on that first quarter, they didn't look so great offensively. What has changed?
Sometimes it's just a matter of doing what you plan to do better. Sometimes you just put that all together and you execute. Other times it's just in a simple adjustment in your game plan, finding a spot that maybe was a little weaker than maybe you thought, and going to that. So many different things, so many different ways, but right now, you got to like what they're doing. They have put distance between themselves and their opponent.
Looking to add on here in the second quarter.
Detroit! Detroit!
And they'll go with the ground attack here. And he's got room. And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down. 25 yards the pickup there, and also a first down.
At this stage of the game, the run-pass numbers are a little bit out of whack because most of their yardage has come through the air. But in a sense, that just sets things up for big runs like that because the defense might be a little bit off balance. They pick up another first down with that run.
Leopard! All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56. Detroit! Detroit!
Back to throw now on first down. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. And he'll be brought down. Oh, that's a face mask. Certainly looked like it. Indeed, here come the flags. And now it's 1st and 10. A big mistake, especially when you factor in the personal foul yardage. Now a handoff working right. And the play goes nowhere. Losing yardage back near the 40 at the 39. It's a loss of 4 there, bringing up second down.
Detroit! Detroit! Gone!
Here's a play fake as they set up to throw. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
I think he had to unload that one before he wanted to. He was right up in his grill. I think he was a dentist there without a license, don't you?
Just not enough time for the play to develop. Just lucky it wasn't a fumble, really. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down.
Detroit! Detroit!
They'll look to throw. Man open, that's Calvin Ridley. And he'll work it inside the 30 to the 29-yard line. They pick up 10, but it'll still lead to a fourth down.
That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away from the football and give the quarterback a really nice target.
No problems in the field goal department so far. He's 2 for 2.
Pretty reliable here in this game, isn't he? And to me, that bodes well for them. If they need him late in the game, his confidence should be sky high.
Now the Patriots offense, they worked their way back out onto the field. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. Meanwhile, they take a shot to start the drive, but this is going to wind up incomplete. 2nd and 10 from the 33-yard line. Throwing again. Jenkins. Going right side here, and that's complete. And he'll bring it up here to right at the 40-yard line. The reception good for 7. It's third down.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before you get a good head of steam going.
Trying to lay one up deep. And a shot taken on third down, unsuccessful. Fourth down now. Some of the fans here don't seem too happy about what we've seen in this first half.
No, not at all, and I understand why. They've looked lethargic, out of sync, and it shows on the scoreboard.
He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. Here are the Falcons as their offense heads back onto the field. And they split the uprights last time for 3. They've got the lead. They're not going to play this conservative. They're not hoping for another field goal. They're hoping for a touchdown.
I'm with you on that one. I like where your head is. I like the way you're thinking because you're exactly right. Trying to sit on a lead and play that way, that doesn't work too well for most teams. Run your offense. Run what you do best. Exactly. Put it all the way down and try to increase your lead in a big way. And the best way to do it, touchdowns.
Tackle made there by Tony Jefferson.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable second down. A very solid gain on that play.
He'll look to throw. He's going to air one out. And got his man complete. And all the way down to the 36-yard line. A big-time play there for the Falcons. 48 yards. So how about that for a chain mover? They're all the way down inside the 40 now for 1st and 10. And they'll try the ground game here with the running back. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on 1st down.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
Back to the ground, this time with Freeman. Freeman a 1st down and more. And down to the 16-yard line. It's a pickup of 16 there, and it'll lead to a new set of downs.
Well, think of it like you would a typical boxing match. The person that's on his heels and absorbing blows is having a tough time. And that's what's happening to the defense right now because the offense is on his toes and punching. And there's another 1st down run right there.
They'll set up the screen for Freeman. No gain on the screen there. It's 2nd down.
Well, that was a simple throw and catch, but even with that completion, 0 yards gained. So they're behind schedule on down and distance.
I think they were hoping to get it to him. He could make a man or two miss, but that window closed quickly. Had the completed pass, but for no gain, stopped right at the line, so it's 2nd and 10.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56. Gone, gone. Gone, gone.
They'll drop to throw. And he's not able to get away. Sacked back at the 22.
There's a lot of discussion in the offseason about him having a big year and getting to the quarterback. They held him without a sack in week 1, but how about here? Finally gets his first one of the season.
In the offseason, said he changed his diet, leaner, feels so good this year. Excited to see what type of a season he can have. To play here in the first half. Back to Foxborough after this. The Falcons on 3rd down. Just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 16. They'll set up to throw. And he's got a man, Calvin Ridley. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. And with that completion, he's now north of 200 yards here in the first half. Boy, a tough start for the secondary defensively.
It is, and it's got to put a dent in their confidence. And, you know, you always want to keep that up and feel like you can always bounce back after plays. But with the kind of numbers he's putting up here, it's starting to wear on them a little bit, I think. So they're looking at each other and trying to figure out what defense will work and how can they play better without getting beat deep for big passes.
That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be 2nd down. From back at the 4, here's 2nd and goal. They'll give it to him up the middle. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. Give him right around 4 on the carry. We'll see if they want to keep pounding here on 3rd and goal.
His path became similar to almost running a stretch play, didn't it? Trying to find a crease, anywhere to put his foot in the ground and cut back. It just never materialized.
The Falcons on 3rd down. They've hit 2 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and goal. They'll give it to him right up the gut. And he takes it into the end zone across the chalk. Now there is a flag down, but I think that's offsides on the defense.
Yeah, I think that's going to stand, partner.
Oh, and it's no good. He tugged it wide left, and that will keep our score right where it is. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. This will be fielded at the 6. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. The Patriots offense now, they work their way back onto the field. And what do you think goes on here in this situation? If you got the football, you're trailing, you're back in your own territory with just a little time. Do you try something?
You're thinking about jump-starting your team, right? You just mentioned they're down. They're trying to get back into the game. But you got to figure, if something goes wrong, you may have put yourself in a spot where you may not be able to come back in the second half. Managing risk is a big decision here.
Back to throw. Jenkins going up top, and he fires one that's intercepted. Picked up by Justin Reed. And his guys have got it back at the closing stages of the first half. That late in the clock, second quarter, why not just run it a time or two and get it into the locker room?
What you're saying makes absolutely perfect sense. Run it and get out of there. But I'm just wondering if the pressure of today's NFL and the high-powered offenses that you're facing may force them into saying, let's try and get some more points.
An ideal beginning of the drive there as they'll get 20 and a first down. The big play to start him out has him at the 45 already.
Lucky 56.
So we have reached halftime. Due to time constraints, we move you forward in today's broadcast to the beginning of the 3rd quarter. All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. Forecast calling for more of the same. The rain set to continue as we are underway in the second half. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Here comes the Atlanta offense now ready to take over here. They built a good first half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. Looking for more there on first down, but this throw downfield incomplete. Line of scrimmage, again the 25, 2nd and 10.
Lucky 56.
Back to throw now on 2nd and 10. And they will not get the connection there. It's incomplete. The linebacker, Demario Davis, got a hand in to break that one up.
Didn't have a receiver open downfield as it turned out. Couldn't even find his outlet man because of the coverage. It's way too tight. Unable to find anyone open.
The Falcons on 3rd down. They've converted 3 out of 5 thus far. This is 3rd and 10. The play action fake. They'll look to throw. Looking deep for Julio. So they took a shot there on 3rd down. Couldn't get it. Now it's 4th.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
So here are the Patriots now. They get ready for their first possession of half number 2. They were able to get the stop defensively. Now a chance to turn that into points on the offensive end.
Can you imagine what the grease board looks like at the half? Because
tell me.
That's exactly what they printed up. Stop them on defense, get the ball back for our offense, and go downfield and score some points. Now, the last part remains to be seen, but they got the first part done very well.
Do people use grease boards, or you mean the magic marker boards?
Yeah, those two.
Flex round! Flex round! Let's go!
And it's Michel once again, and he'll get it out near the 40 to the 39. They get 6 on the pickup there as the drive will continue.
Boy, he does it at a high level, doesn't he? Because when I watch him, I think of his vision. Straight ahead, peripheral, also has that sense of where holes are going to be before they actually open. I think that helps set him apart from many of the other backs in the league.
Now a play fake here on first down. And nearly picked off there, almost intercepted. Instead, second down.
Well, man's getting a little loose with the football there, right? Interception before, almost had one here. He's got to start taking better care of it.
Yeah, really should have been back-to-back drives with interceptions. He's lucky there.
Hey, boys, got 4 down.
On the toss, here's Michel. Room to run past midfield. And brought down across the 50 to the 49-yard line. That'll be a New England first down, a gain of 12.
Well, so much for him being bottled up throughout the day. Finally finds a way to break through and get a really nice gain. The defense had felt great about what they had going. Now they've got to turn their attention to getting it back in that direction. Can they bottle him up again? Because I'd say after that run, confidence is pretty high for him.
And a pretty big hole as he's down to about the 40. Give him 9 on the carry that time, and they're set up with a 2nd and 1. A first carry for Samaje Perine. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. Up from his linebacker spot, Deion Jones making the play. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. On 3rd and 2, Jenkins. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked up by Justin Reed. And he'll bring this one back to the 29. Thought they had something going there to break that goose egg here in the second half, but to no avail.
Hope was alive until that interception. What a terrific play, taking the ball away after it looked like they were starting a drive.
And now that shutout still standing. You know that's something those defensive guys hold a lot of pride on, too.
No doubt about it. They're excited about where they are in this game.
And he'll slip his way up across the 30 to the 32. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down. And they'll run it here. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field. So a decent gain, but all for naught on the penalty.
It's too bad, isn't it? They were feeling pretty good about it. Only people celebrating, the guys who just gave up that play.
They'll come up now on a 2nd and long after the hold. They'll look to throw here. Looking left side, and he's got a man. It's Hodges. They get 14 back, but it leads now to a 3rd down.
For many teams, the evaluation of tight ends has really changed. We used to wonder about how they would block first and foremost. Now we want to know how these guys can run, because we envision them in offenses catch the ball. How much yardage can they gain after that?
And that on display there for a good pickup. On 3rd and short, they'll try and pick it up through the air. Throwing the slant pattern here, complete. Well, that'll get them the first down as they get 9 yards out of that quick slant.
This has to go down as one of the simpler routes in the playbook. but oh so effective. Nice completion there. Keeps the sticks moving.
This quarterback now 5 straight completions here in this second half. 1st and 10. Now they try the right side here. Finding room inside the 40. And down to the 29-yard line. A big chunk on the ground there, 27 yards.
Outside handoff to the right side. If you're a running back, you love getting the ball early so you have vision to see what's happening in front of you.
Right tackle likes that call. Big play for him, but don't forget about the guys you always tell me on the backside sealing off.
When they talk about cutoff blocks, making sure no one can leak from the backside that can run a play down.
And nobody leaked. Big play.
On that play, it was the defensive front that won the battle. They out-leveraged the offensive line, got into the backfield, and held them to no gain.
On 2nd down, Freeman. And taking it to the 15-yard line before he's brought down. They give him 13 yards there on the play and a fresh set of downs. From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football.
On plays like this where the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back. Because this is a quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
And he'll get it down inside the 20 to the 18-yard line. Now that gets back some of what they needed, but they're still stuck here with a 3rd and 13. He'll drop to throw. And he can't quite pick it. No interception so far. That probably should have been their first, but at least it's 4th down. And his kick is good. And that one ups the lead to 22-0. So 3 field goals that he's hit now. This last one helps him stretch out the lead.
He's been solid, hasn't he? And he lives up to the adage that every offensive coach has ever said to us. We want to end every possession with a kick, right? For them, it's either extra point, field goal, or at worst, a punt. In this case, it's been 3s.
Out comes the New England offense to see what they can do this time. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. And, of course, they'd like to forget the ending, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part 2, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, that does them no good to go back and say, well, you know what, a good one going. Finish things off. That's the only way you can get it done.
Now, the first play of the drive there is incomplete. He couldn't quite. Ball pops out, incomplete. So now they'll come up on 2nd and 10, once again from the 28. Throwing again on 2nd and 10. Jenkins. He's going to launch this thing way downfield. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete.
Even without a ton of pressure in his face, it just shows how difficult it is to pick apart his own defense. Those guys are sitting back, and they're not playing receivers as much as they're playing the eyes of the quarterback and when he delivers the ball.
On 3rd down, Jenkins. And he comes back with one complete. A big gain of 31 on 3rd down.
Well, partner, I'm not sure how this drive's going to end, but how about the way they flip field position there? A nice attacking play that picked up a heck of a chunk of yardage.
Hey. 4 down.
Off play action. Jenkins. He's going to float this over the middle deep. And this is caught inside the 5. And all the way in. Touchdown, New England. As his guys are in for 6, and the Patriots get a score closer. That was a nice little setup there off play action for the long touchdown pass.
Yeah, I've got to tell you, it brings back bad memories for a guy like me as a former defensive back, because in a playbook I knew a long time ago, we described that play pattern as draw pass 9 go, meaning fly pattern after the play-action pass, trying to hit him for the deep ball. And, boy, were they successful on that one. So tough because his speed is so great. You've got to make sure you don't miss any cues or keys in order to try and keep up with him.
Draw pass, 9 go. That's still a nightmare to this day.
Yeah, I still wake up in the middle of the night and feel the guy going past me.
Now the Falcons offense, they get ready to head back out here. This is sort of what you would call a put-away drive, isn't it? They score here, especially a touchdown. It's almost out of reach.
It certainly feels that way, and I think that they're going to call their plays accordingly because what you really want to do, even though you know the scoreboard is still up there and the game's going to go on, I think you can take the spirit away from another team. That their drive and will to come back and win can be taken with another score right here.
Still third quarter, but you just get that feel.
Yeah, they're teetering right there on the brink, aren't they?
Following the incomplete pass, here they go again. 2nd and 10 from the 25. And they'll go ground game here with a tailback. And that one blown up quickly as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started.
Perfectly designed blitz right there. They took that one from the grease board to the field because they were able to free up their linebacker to get into the backfield and spill the play.
Detroit! 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 Detroit!
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And he goes down. It's a Patriots sack. Robert Ayers able to drop him for a loss of 2, and that'll bring up 4th down. First kick, 47. This one looks good as well. Returnable for Thomas. Thomas barreling ahead. A good return there. Call it 13 yards. And the Patriots take over. And the Patriots gearing up to go now. Good starting field position for them here as they come up 1st and 10.
Flex round! Flex round!
This drive starts out on the ground with Michel. Room here to run. Back now in Foxborough. It's Patriot football, but they trail here as we begin the 4th quarter. From Falcon territory now, here's 1st and 10 at the 25-yard line. Operating from the gun, Jenkins. Open man right side is Cup, complete. So he got free of 1 tackle but couldn't do a whole lot else. The completion good for 3, and it's 2nd down. You got the big lead defensively. Willing to give them that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
Looking to throw. Jenkins dancing to his left. He's going to let it go deep for the end zone. And they went for a big play through the air on 2nd down. Couldn't connect. Now it's 3rd.
This defense was definitely alert to the possibility of the deep ball, and they were more than ready for it.
They've got the lead, 4th quarter. Maybe can expect more passes like that downfield. They head to the line facing a 3rd and 7 following the incompletion on 2nd down. Back to throw. Jenkins. And he's in. Touchdown, Patriots. Will tie his 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Patriots make some inroads here on that deficit. Heck of a start to his season. He had 2 touchdowns in the opener last week, another one here in week 2.
Well, I don't want to call him a touchdown machine this early, but sometimes you get locked in, and you feel good about things. You get into that zone, and those touchdowns come in bunches. He may be off to that kind of a start.
It's like he was shot out of a cannon. I would imagine success this early, great momentum going forward for the rest of the year.
He keeps this up, they'll soon be chanting MVP anytime he touches the ball.
This is taken at his 4. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28-yard line. Atlanta now coming out on the field. That last touchdown has made this really tight. They're clinging now to this slim lead. Second half, they only have a field goal. This offense needs to kick it into gear.
And right now, I'm looking directly at the field general, at the quarterback. Because to me, he's got to take over right now. By word, pumping his team up, and then, of course, by deed with his play. My high school coach used to say that all the time. Laddie, take over by word and deed.
And deed means action.
Exactly.
So the opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12. They'll set up a throw. He's going to fire one deep, middle of the field. So the long attempt falls innocently to the ground, and it brings up 3rd.
One of the toughest things about playing defensive back is pattern reading, trying to figure out what they're doing. And on that one, they had the fly, just sending a guy downfield with the in route accompanying it, what people call a dagger route, trying to hit the guy underneath after the clear out. In this case, though, they're not able to get it done.
Yeah, they said forget the underneath route for the guy on the fly, but as you said, incomplete. Looking downfield for Jones. Oh, incomplete. Nearly the pick they needed. They would have loved one there, but at least it does get them to 4th down. They got the win last week despite not having any interceptions. Tried to come up with one there, could not. But there's a stat category called PBU, pass breakup. That's important too, and they got one.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it because at least you're there, knocking the ball away. Offense isn't possessing it, making plays downfield. And you just continue to harass the receivers, harass the quarterback, and maybe the big play does occur down the road.
Throwing to start the drive. Jenkins to Michelle on the screen. And he'll have this past the 30 prior to going out of bounds. Give him 13 yards on the opening play of the drive and also give him a 1st down. First play of the drive in their hip pocket. Of course, the focus here has to be the touchdown or the 2-point conversion. Field goals aren't going to help you.
Yeah, but how about that first play of the drive? Just to get them started, nice gain, got some positive momentum going. They're on their way, and they don't have to rush.
And he'll get this up to about the 40. 8 yards on the pickup, and now they'll have some options on 2nd and short.
Well, partner, I know this type of running back. I mean, this size, this intensity usually gets better as the game goes on. I just tell you from experience, the first few quarters, oh, you're eager. You come running up there. I'm going to tackle.
Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. But I think the Patriots are going to hang on to the football. They do. They get it back. So they escape, so to speak, maintaining the football. Defensively, though, opportunity miss.
It definitely was because that's all defenses talk about. Getting the football and either advancing it the other way or just getting possession and turning it over to their offense. That can be a little bit deflating. You're exactly right. A lost opportunity.
Looking to throw. Jenkins. And he's going to go down again. Vic Beasley in there to drop him for a 4-yard loss, and it'll be 4th down. Here's Sam Cook now. He's been terrific so far. His first punt, 48 yards. This one looks equally as good. And here now come the Falcons. They're holding on right now to that slim advantage in a one-score game. And you hear a lot about 2-minute offense and 4-minute offense. Obviously, the 4-minute offense applies here. How do they run that effectively?
Yeah, really what the 4-minute offense is you're just trying to grind the clock. So you want consistent gains, steady gains. Doesn't have to be big plays, but it has to be plays that gets first downs and keeps the ball away from your opponent.
But certainly throwing the ball is in the mix here.
It certainly is. Just make sure that you're careful with it. And again, get those first downs, keep possession of the football.
Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
Well, Brandon, pace comes into play now because they've got the advantage. They've got the football, but they've got to be very careful about what speed they're going to play. You know, my music teacher back in New Paltz, Mrs. Bythema Bagley, used to say, don't go prestissimo when you really want to go largo. And what she meant by that is don't go too fast when you really want to go at a nice, slow, deliberate pace.
I am speechless. I am without speech. Ben Gideon in on the stop. The Falcons on 3rd down. They're right at about the league average, 40%, 4 for 10. This is 3rd and 7.
Lucky 56.
Back to throw. Looking deep downfield. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down.
You hear the calls for a penalty, but I just don't think so. I think in this situation, the defender was making sure his guy couldn't hold on to the football. So I don't see anything that warranted a flag.
No, I'm with you. There was contact, but I'm happy they kept that flag in the back pocket. The Patriot offense now set to come back out onto the field. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
Throwing on 1st down, Jenkins. And nearly picked off. Surprising to see a defender of his caliber let it get away, but it does get away and it's 2nd down. Here they come, 2nd and 10 now from the 10.
Ohio!
Back to the air on 2nd down. Jenkins. And that one got tipped, kind of threw everything off. It brings up 3rd.
Well, we're not playing 3 yards in a cloud of dust football anymore. I kind of get why those old school coaches sometimes didn't want to throw the football. Because if it's popped up in the air, it almost turns into slow motion. And both sides trying to get to the football, and you're holding your breath wondering whether it's going to go good or bad for your team.
Ohio!
On 3rd down, Michelle. And he'll be taken down, losing yardage back at the 9-yard line. That'll make it 4th down after a loss of 1.
An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively because they kept extra DBs on the field despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out for the offense.
I thought they were going to switch out of it. I didn't know if they felt they didn't have time or what the case was.
Well, in any event, the extra speed allowed for great penetration as they stuffed that one behind the line of scrimmage.
Come on, let's go! What? 90! What? 90! Flex round! Flex round!
Got to try it here. He's back to throw. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Grady Jarrett breaking through to get him for a loss of 7. Well, they've got the slim deficit, decided to go for it, hoping to keep the football score and erase that deficit. But, boy, deep in their own territory like that.
Let's just say that with that call, me and the head coach will agree to disagree. All right, but he knew he wanted to be aggressive there, as you pointed out. So I guarantee you, he told his defensive coordinator, have your guys up and ready. I'm going to go for it here. If we don't get it,
hammering for the goal line. He loses the football. And the offense is able to pounce on it inside the 5-yard line. Time for a break. We'll come back, see what transpires after this. A line of scrimmage, once again the 5 as they get ready for 2nd and goal. He'll get it up the middle. And he'll take this into the end zone. Now, hold on here. We do have a flag down. So let's see what this is about. A crucial penalty there as the hold backs him up for another 2nd and goal. And they'll go on the ground. And he'll be stopped up at the line of scrimmage with a flag down. Let's check on the call. So no gain on the play. They'll decline the penalty to not give him the down back.
And were you thinking to yourself that maybe they would take the yardage there? Because
Possibly.
I definitely was. But as you noted, maybe they're just looking at the downs chart and saying, okay, we're comfortable where we are.
No. Check. Patriot! Patriot!
They're going to look to throw. And he's going to drop this off to his fullback. And now they're inside the 10 as he's brought down at the 9. Now the Patriots going to use one of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. And his kick is good. And that will bump the lead up to 11. A big one there. That gives him a little cushion and makes it a two-score game.
Yeah, bled a little time off the clock, put some points on the board. It's not totally out of reach yet, but it has to feel pretty good to them right now because as a defender, you go out on the field and say, guess what? You can put some points on the board, but that won't beat us.
So the Patriots coming out now. And on that last drive, went for it on fourth, turned it over. But good job by their defense, though. They held them to 3, but this offense, they've got to be a little bit better, a little bit more careful here.
And sometimes when you see these calls on fourth down, when they decide to go for it, it's not necessarily the coach saying, I believe in my offense. Sometimes the coach saying, I believe in my defense. I can afford to go for it here because if we don't get it, I don't think we'll give up more than 3. And that's exactly what happened there.
You think that factored in?
I do. I think that he had that in his mind going into the game, that I'm going to be aggressive on offense because I know I've got a defense that can hold up their end.
On 1st and 10, Jenkins. He'll get this one to Cup, complete. And he'll be out of bounds just shy of the 40. 14 yards is the pickup there and a New England first down. Clock management, definitely critical here if they want to get back in this game.
Absolutely agreed. They have to up the tempo in this case, down a couple of scores. Want to make sure they have a chance to win this ball game.
On 1st down, Jenkins. And the Falcons get there. The Falcons get the sack. Down he goes. Now before this second down play, we'll get whistles and a timeout as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming second down play. Now following the sack, they'll look to make amends on a 2nd down and 17.
Ohio! Flex round!
From the gun, Jenkins. He's going to let it fly. And that's going to wind up incomplete. However, we do have a flag down. Let's check in with our referee. Whether it's a touchdown or a field goal, whatever it is, they need to score quickly here on 1st down.
Ohio!
From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. Stepping up, he's going to keep it. Another nice gain, 13 yards that time, and another first down. First down now, but that clock rolling.
Containing him is becoming a big problem. We've already seen this once earlier in this drive.
Yeah, and so now 2 times this has happened. Do you adjust something?
Yeah, I think you do. I think you got to start thinking about your rush lanes. Try not to either get too wide or too narrow. Make sure someone is there waiting for him to take off.
Michelle on an island by himself in the backfield, 2nd and goal. Off the play fake. Jenkins. And they're going to get to him. A sack. Sacked back at the 9-yard line. Tack McKinley in there to take him down, and the clock will roll. You got to think this is likely 4-down territory anyway, but they'll try to punch it in now on 3rd and goal.
Ohio!
Back to throw. Jenkins. Steps, and the pressure gets to him again. Now on 4th down, we've got a whistle here and a timeout, as the clock will stop with 21 seconds to go in the football game. So out comes the field goal team now for the 2nd time here today. And Gostkowski's kick is good. And that'll make this an 8-point game. So they'll line up for the onside kick. 18 seconds to go. So he missed his first attempt, remember, but this time he gets back on the bike and knocks it home.
Yeah, and sometimes that first one can really impact you moving forward. It can just stay with you too long and affect everything else you do during the game. In this case, though, able to shake it off. He's riding high again.
Here we go now.
The Falcons in victory formation as they take a knee. Well, Charles, the forecast called for rain throughout the entire game, and we got rain throughout the entire game. But these two teams, they had fun getting dirty out there. They love the slop.
Did you trust the forecast ahead of time? Are you one of those guys that's skeptical about it, or did you trust it?
But when I saw just a big blob of green on the radar, I said, okay, let's trust.
Yeah, and that's why I'm glad you took my advice. Got your notes laminated because, open-air booth, that rain can affect us as well, although not as much as the guys on the field. But let's face it, it's kind of fun to watch these types of games, isn't it?
It is. By the way, how impressive is it that you travel with a laminator? I didn't even know there was a portable laminator.
The things that you learn.
Golly, wise beyond his years. So for the Falcons, it was a great all-around performance as they come out of this one with the victory. And they'll get another road date next week as their opponents will be the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Meanwhile, for the Patriots, they'll drop to 0-2, and they'll try and turn things around next week as they have a date at MetLife Stadium with the New York Jets. And for Charles Davis,